Okay, now we're going to talk about what comes in the case. This is a Platt Flight case, very durable, has locks with keys if you need them. Inside, foam upper protection. Behind the foam, the materials we're going to talk about. The Samsung computer goes in a nice, convenient, comfortable slot right here. Okay. The laser fits completely in a custom molded section which protects it from any kind of shock. You can put this on an airplane flight, you can put it in a luggage check bags, doesn't matter. Okay? Next, over here we have the 110 charger for the Samsung computer. By the way, our European customers can have this adapted, and we ship those adapters to them for any voltages throughout Europe and anywhere in the country, in the world for that matter. Charger for the black box here, main batteries. It's a slow charger, works overnight, very good. You get about 10 hours out of that battery. By the way, Samsung gets somewhere between 4 and 5 hours depending on the power settings. Next, we have 4 of our clamp-on targets. Makes it real easy because typically you shouldn't need more than that. Just shuffle them around. If you ever need more, call us. We're always here for that. 2 of the black shield targets, or shields, so that we don't get reflections. And these can be hung over an edge or put up in a corner in a lot of other ways. 4 pin targets with the rotatable pins. Okay, these can be put on an outside corner. Take one pin out like this and run it up against an edge. Very handy. We've explained that a little bit earlier. Next, USB reader. Okay, inside of here you plug this into your computer, and the SD chip that comes out of the Samsung on the top here would go right in there. So it's easy to transfer. There's other ways to transfer. You can email the files. You could hardwire it to the your laptop or PC, or you could Wi-Fi it. It's very simple. So the SD card goes in here. This clamps up into your computer. That's how you transfer data. One of these SD chips will probably hold as many as 5,000 or 6,000 templates that you would do on a daily basis. So most people will mark these for 1 week, or if they have multiple templaters, each person has their name on it for a certain week, and then they're issued new. After you store all this to your mainframe computer, then you could erase the chips and give them back to them. This is the cable that goes from the black box into the Samsung. It's simple USB. Some little extension pieces. If you had, if the laser was over here and I had to hit a couple points here to extend that, that's what we would use for that. Okay, let's look behind the foam here. Just pulls out. In here you have a little goodie package from Samsung with, I believe, some headphones and a wrist strap and a little case for it, and some information about the operation of the computer should you desire to do anything else with it. Our CD, which explains the operation, and this is probably what you're watching right now. Here's a little piece of that black felt material that we had on the anti-reflection targets. This allows you, if you had some little tiny picky-uni thing that you didn't want to reflect in a little tiny angle, you could put this there. Personally, I've never used it, but we're putting it in a box just in case you do. Next, a little sheet of Avery Post-it note type material white dots. What you would use this for is if you were trying to measure a vanity that the back wall was a mirror, let's say. The laser would be confused by a mirror. It wouldn't know whether to measure to the mirror or maybe the reflection on the back wall. Very simply, 2 of these little very easily removable dots you could pull right off and put those on the mirror. I think sheets of these, or a whole box of them for a couple thousand, is like $2. Next, we have a nice little wiping cloth. On a regular basis, take a look at the lens on the laser. That would be the bluish colored lens. Just wipe it off. A little moisture maybe would help that. If not, dry is fine. That's really the only maintenance that's ever done to this product. Okay, we've covered what's in the box. We've covered all of the functionality of the product. all the things you need to make it operate. Okay, probably one of the most basic things and requires a certain amount of common sense is where to place the laser in the room. For example, on this L shape here, if the refrigerator wasn't there, I could probably go way back that way and film everything with no targets whatsoever. Now you saw in an earlier video we hit the side of the refrigerator, or we showed targets being used over here. Typically I would like to put the laser in a position where I have good angles here, good angles there, good angles there, good angles there, there, and there. No bad angles. I might need 2 targets. That's it. You saw earlier when we filmed this video or digitized this top, it took 4 minutes, and we didn't use any targets in that case. Okay, so positioning the laser. Now, if you had an island here, you would position it on the other side of the island. Let's say it wouldn't fit over here. In that case, you'd have to shoot over the top of the island. And remember we talked about before putting a couple targets up here, clamp-on targets. These here that would allow you to shoot over the island and hit these. Just 2, that's all we need. And here and here, and maybe 2 more over here, if you couldn't see it from over there. Very simple. Targeting is something you'll figure out on your own, real simply. Just don't get yourself walking around the house with your wife watching you trying to position your laser. I get criticized for that all the time. Okay, let's talk about the proper way to set up the LT55 tripod. New case, anti-zippers, opens up further so you can get it out real easy. Always put it in legs first, okay? First thing you'll notice is we open this up, detents here, and sets down, okay? At this height, with the laser on, it will hit the base chute at about the top inch. We've already set this up this way. If it ever gets changed, what you'll see here are these detents on this leg. You can hear that click. On the first detent, this gets tightened, okay? Now, when you open the tripod up, all 3 legs should come out at the same time. Give this just a little bit of a tightening here, not much at all. Set this down. Now, when we set it down, it's important, number 1, if you're right-handed, to have the crank on the right hand. So let's suppose I did that over here. Okay? Now, when I set this here so I can crank this up and down, I have these 2 straight sides of the leveling head somewhat parallel with these walls. Now, you'll notice there's only 2 knobs on this leveling base, unlike many transit levels and things like that. We made it simple to use. It's very big. You can roll it on and off like this. When I tighten this knob, it tilts the whole head this way, which would in turn turn the laser this way on the front of the cabinet base. If I tighten this knob, it would lift the laser up. Okay? Now, one of the most important things to remember with the laser, it's probably one of the biggest failures we've ever had with people getting bad measurements, is this issue. The tripod has 3 ways in here. It's a very good tripod, imported from Italy. Now, when I slowly tighten this knob here, that stops. I don't need to tighten it anymore. That's plenty. It allows me to crank up and down without putting any pressure on it, smoothly up and down with the 3 ways inside. Okay? If I were to over-tighten this, when I went to do this, I would move the tripod. Okay? Not good. If it was too loose, a little bit of movement here is allowed on the wall. It's very simple. You just make sure that this doesn't move and it still goes up and down smoothly. Now we're going to set the laser on top of here. When we do that, there's a brass shaft that fits into a hole here, and then you tighten this knob here very tight. Put a T-handle on here, so then nothing moves. Notice how easily this goes up and down without any movement and no rotation.